Good morning, Emerson. A Japanese biologist has won a Nobel Prize for his studies in cell recycling.
And the Red Sox honored David Ortiz at his final regular season home game at Fenway Park.
All that and more Tuesday, October 4th. I'm Claire Gomes.
And I'm Sean Stackhouse. We have a great show for you this morning. Later, I will be sitting down with Kelly Fuller and Elise Harrison, the organizers of Fresh Check Day at Emerson College. That's going to be a great interview, Claire. Good to get some very important information out to the Emerson students.
Speaking of good information, later, Emerson Buzz will be joining us in studio. Now for our top story today. The New York Times reported that they obtained a few pages of Donald Trump's tax returns, and the information within them doesn't bode well for the Republican presidential candidate. Trump claimed a $916 million loss in 1995, a loss that may have allowed him to reduce the income taxes he owed. It's very possible that Donald Trump has been legally avoiding paying taxes, and for that, he calls himself brilliant.
As a businessman and real estate developer, I have legally used the tax laws to my benefit and to the benefit of my company, my investors, and my employees. I mean, honestly, I have brilliantly used those laws.
The New York Times claimed to have obtained the documents through mail from an anonymous source, and while the validity of these documents is not yet confirmed, it is only increasing the pressure on Trump to release his tax records. Some are saying that this could be the straw that breaks the back of the Trump campaign. Sean, do you think this is going to affect Trump supporters at all?
No, I don't think it's going to affect the supporters, but I really do think it's going to influence those undecided voters, especially in swing states. So it'll be really interesting to see how this topic is addressed in future debates, especially the vice presidential debate tonight.
I completely agree, Sean. Our news correspondent, Moses Small, has the update on global and U.S. news.
Thank you, Claire. There's always a lot going on inside and outside the country, and here's the news for this morning. Talks between Russia and the U.S. about the conflict in Syria were formally suspended on Monday due to Russia's role in bombing rebel-held areas of Aleppo, Syria. Talks between the two countries have been tenuous at best recently because Russia seems to be back in the Assad government in the conflict, and the U.S. objects to this. The fighting in Syria has killed 500,000 people since the start in 2011, and the only thing that the two powers can agree on is that groups such as the Islamic State need to be slowed and stopped, and it's unclear when the two will restart talks aimed at creating another Syrian ceasefire. An investigation is taking place to look into the train crash in New Jersey, which led to one fatality and injured over 100 people on Thursday morning. The train failed to stop and derailed while coming into the Hoboken transit station. The engineer of the train, Thomas Gallagher, said that he didn't recall any technical problems on the train leading up to the crash and was knocked unconscious during. Of the people hospitalized, 74 have been released so far, but the cause of the accident is still unknown. The one deceased was identified as Fabiola Bitar de Kroon, a 34-year-old Hoboken resident. More information is still coming out from New Jersey, and this was the first fatal crash to happen in New Jersey Transit since 1996. Shimon Peres, an Israeli leader famous for his efforts to make peace between the Israelis and Palestinians, passed away on Wednesday and is being remembered around the world. The funeral for Peres brought officials from 75 different countries, including Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel and President Mahmoud Abbas of the Palestinian Authority, and also U.S. President Barack Obama. Also, Israeli and Palestinian leaders shook hands before the memorial service, which is rare for leaders between the two, which are historically at war. Mr. Peres served in multiple top positions in the Israeli government since its founding and earned a Nobel Peace Prize in 1994. He was 93 years old when he passed away. Japanese cell biologist Yoshinori Osumi won a Nobel Prize for studies in cell recycling, a process also called self-eating, where cells break down and use some of their components to make new ones. This process is thought to go wrong in cancer and infectious diseases, and is disrupted in other cell-related processes like aging. His work began in the 90s, where he was turned down from jobs after getting a PhD in chemical biology, and he instead studied cell reproduction in yeast. Mr. Osumi opened up a new field of study with his work that could have implications in the medical field, and was given a Nobel Prize for medicine. That's all the news I have for you today. Now back to you, Sean and Claire.
Now, Moses, is this going to be a major breakthrough for medicine? Could this be the important cure that we need for some of these horrible diseases like cancer?
I think it certainly has the potential to be, because no one really knows what's going on with cell recreation and with all the reproduction processes there. And it does have connection to a lot of other parts of the body and other cell actions. So I think it has potential to do a lot in medicine.
All right, well, thank you so much, Moses.
Thank you.
Now for today's weather update, we have some good weather in our future after a rainy weekend. Today will be cloudy with a high of 60 and a low of 50. As for Wednesday, it will be even nicer. It will be partly cloudy with a high of 63. Claire, how are you feeling about this nice weather? I thought it was supposed to finally be fall.
I thought so too, Sean, but hey, I'm going to take all my nice days I can because we got a long winter coming up.
Good point. Well, we have to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, I'll be joined by the organizers of Emerson's Fresh Check Day.
And our sports correspondent, Augie Vanderveer, will be here to help us cope with the Patriots' loss, so don't go away.
Welcome back to Good Morning Emerson. Joining me this morning are Kelly Fuller and Elise Harrison of Emerson's Fresh Check Day. Thank you both so much for being here with us today.
It's nice to be here.
Thanks for having us.
So, Elise, I'll start with you. Could you just explain a little bit about what is Emerson Fresh Check Day?
Fresh Check Day is it's an event that was started by the Jordan Porco Foundation. It was a family who lost their son in his freshman year to suicide, and they really felt committed to starting a way to inform students, to reduce stigma about seeking help, and to make it a fun activity for students.
Now, how was this event brought specifically to Emerson?
Well, Elise brought the idea to me and a group of us that meet pretty much on a monthly basis from all over campus to talk about mental health issues on campus. And she asked if we were interested in doing it, and so the group said yes, and away it went. So we had our first event last year. This year we hope to make it even bigger and better and more exciting for students.
Yeah, and one of the things that is really important is that mental health is not just an issue of the counseling center, it's an entire community. And we have 11 different departments that are participating.
Yeah, that are going to be participating in the event.
Now, what could students expect to see if they were to come to Fresh Check Day?
Sure, so when students walk in, they'll check in, they'll get a card, which is actually like their passport that'll get checked off at every single booth that they visit. We have 9 different booths. Each will have a message and an activity for the students to participate in. Some of the booths will be, one is called The Elephant in the Room, and it's all about talking about the topics that people don't like to talk about. 9 out of 10, which is 9 out of 10 suicides can be prevented. The student group Active Minds will have their own booth. We have a booth called Paint Your Art Out, which will have canvases, paint your own piggy bank, finger painting activities. We will have the famous Emerson ball pit for students to climb in. That is actually very relaxing once you're actually in it. So different things that students can pick and choose on what they do. At the end, they turn in their card. We do have raffle prizes. We have a 32-inch flat screen TV, which will be given away. We have a gift card for yoga, mandala coloring set, different things for students to win just by attending the event.
That sounds so great. Now, the goal is to try to make the stigma around mental health disappear, and you're doing that through having fun activities that can engage students.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, what really brought you to this? I know that you are the director of Emerson Counseling and Psychological Services, but trying to bring this to the Emerson students, is that something that you're very passionate about?
Yes, because there's so much important work in prevention, and we don't want any student to be alone, feeling badly, feeling depressed or sad, and not having a connection to the community. That's one of the most protective factors in helping students who are having trouble, is having a community around them. And that's why this event is so important, because it brings awareness to all of the students that they can help. They can seek out students that they think are lonely or having trouble.
Where it's not isolating a student that feels alone, it's showing the rest of the community is here for you too, and you're teaching them how to do that. Now, what are some of the ways that you're going to work with these students at Fresh Check Day to give them resources to help a friend in need?
So the 9 out of 10 booth has magnets that every student will be able to take that actually talks about warning signs and different resources that they can contact for themselves or for a friend. Active Minds, like I said, will be there, the student group around mental health issues. Just again, peer-to-peer mentoring as far as that goes. We will have self-care kits that students can create. The fitness center is actually doing a booth called Boost, so it will talk about little things that people can do during the day to actually, from a physical aspect, help improve their mental health. Diversity and Inclusion has a booth about resiliency in the face of microaggressions and oppression, so hitting on different topics that have come up on campus already. So really just broad messages about all sorts of different topics. Having multiple departments involved is actually giving faces in other areas that are now aware of mental health resources on campus and how to have conversations with students.
That sounds so great. Now, where and when can students attend?
October 13th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the campus center. We are taking up the entire first floor of the campus center. You won't be able to miss us.
Awesome. Well, I thank you so much for joining us. I encourage you all to go to Emerson Fresh Check Day. This weekend, the Red Sox honor David Ortiz at his final regular season game at Fenway Park. Augie Vanderveer joins us now with the details.
Big Papi's David Ortiz played his final game of professional baseball last night. The Boston sports legend was as gracious as ever in his final address to the crowd. So let's hear from the man himself.
A lot of people. First of all, I want to thank God. I want to thank you, Mom, wherever you are. I love you so much and I miss you. I want to thank this wonderful organization, the Red Sox. I want to thank Pedro Martinez. I want to thank my teammates in the past and my teammates in the present. I want to thank my president of the Dominican Republic. And for last, I want to thank all of you, the fans. Thank you so much.
On Sunday, the Patriots were shut out for the first time since 1994. Some of the lowlights. Almost every play, they'd roll back, start surveying the field, pass fake, start the drive, and fumble. Then the next play, he comes back and then sack. And then he rolls back again, he launches it, it's downfield. He's in the end zone, and it's deflected. It's nothing. I'm giving you the lowlights right now. It's pretty rough stuff. It's the first shutout since 1994. It's fairly embarrassing, and if the Patriots can't magically conjure up a Hall of Fame quarterback for Week 5, they're going to be in trouble, guys. In political news, LeBron James is endorsing Hillary Clinton for president. In an op-ed published by Business Insider, James called Clinton the one person running that truly understands the struggles of Akron children born into poverty. James goes the entire piece without mentioning the other candidate or the team he reminds us in the second paragraph he overcame a 3-1 deficit against. He ends the piece speaking to Clinton's ability to build on the legacy of Obama before urging us all to register and get out the vote. Vin Scully called the final game of his 67-year career Sunday afternoon. At 88 years old, Scully still called the game solo, keeping track of play, sharing memories and stories, all by himself for over 3 hours. Giants Hall of Famer Willie Mays joined Vin after the game, and Vin was presented with an honorary plaque in the press box. Joe Davis has been slated to succeed Scully, a man more than 59 years his senior. But in fairness, we'll give him, too, about 70 or so years to fill them. Thanks, guys. Back to you.
And now we have Christina Gusford with the inside scoop on a 5-man Irish band called Celtic Thunder.
Internationally renowned Irish singing group Celtic Thunder is celebrating its 9-year legacy in a tour appropriately named the same. Since the quintet's formation, they have traveled the globe, captivating audiences with both traditional and modernized Irish songs in innumerable illustrious venues. When I talked to the ensemble before they took the stage at Boston's Orpheum Theater, I didn't hide that I've been a loyal fan since 2007. And for a very long time, for most of my youth, actually, I had this on just so everyone can see.
How come there's pinholes? Is that the darts that you use?
Even after nearly a decade, they still find room for improvement and ways to keep the shows fresh and exciting.
I think the show is it's grown very organically in the sense that it's gained its own life over the last 9 years. Over the years, the lineup's changed, our styles have changed. We've all grown as artists, we've grown as a group, we've grown as people, we've gained experience. So I think this tour legacy is sort of homage to all that, and with it combined, I think we're presenting, I believe, the best show we've ever presented, to be honest.
I think overall the energy is bigger in this tour than it has been, and I think in any tour, so that's why I think people are maybe looking at thinking, I don't know what's different, but something just feels like it's up to the gear. So
certainly quicker as well. As you said, the tempos have risen on most of the songs, and that's the thing. So it's a faster show.
And behind the scenes, I think like every day, you know, the show the night before is critiqued by the musical director as well, you know, in a really good way. They say, okay, there's a certain corner here in a song we can make better, we can make it tighter, you know, we can push or pull a beat or something like that. It might be just that, you know, but it's making it better all the time. And, you know, even with 72 shows, on the night before the 72nd show, there'll be something that they will say, lads, we can make this better.
I also asked them about the regular changes in the group's composition since 2011, bringing in new members and losing some along the way.
The thing that was said to me about coming into Celtic Thunder is, you know, yes, you're part of a group, and you know you have to understand what the Celtic Thunder show is, but at the same time, you know, Sharon and David, our musical director, want you to express yourself as a personality as well. The fans love to see us go out and be individuals, but they also love us being on stage together. And like, you know, I think one of the reasons why this has been the most successful tour so far is that there's so much laughter going on stage as well.
We genuinely want to be here.
This tour in particular is the first since one of the core members unexpectedly passed away.
A part in this tour that is called Legacy, and I don't think anybody epitomises the legacy of Celtic Thunder more than George Donaldson did. We've often said it that, you know, there's a sixth man on stage every night we go out, and that's still the case with George. And these songs that are songs that you still hear his big voice in your head when you're singing them, because he was always a key member of them. You know, people have come and left the group and come back, and that's as I say, it's all part of the whole musical, you know, industry and the carousel we're all on. But Big George never left. He's still there, you know.
So what can fans expect from Celtic Thunder as a group in the future?
It's not going away, that's for sure.
Yeah, there'll be more Damien posters available on the next tour.
I'm gonna go buy one downstairs. For Good Morning Emerson, I'm Christina Gesford.
Tonight, vice presidential candidates Tim Kaine and Mike Pence will face off in the vice presidential debate happening this election cycle.
So for the roundtable today, we will be discussing what to expect at the debate and the election going forward. Ruby, these vice presidential candidates both have some pretty strong opinions on some hot button topics happening right now. Do you have any expectations or predictions for tonight's debate?
I don't know that I have any specific predictions, but it's going to be interesting to see how their viewpoints match up to the nominees, and how they mirror each other or differentiate, like have different perspectives, and to see if they are in line and how that affects people's opinion on them as a pair.
I agree.
Now, what a lot of people are looking for tonight is to see how the two vice presidential candidates represent the candidates that they are on the ticket with. Do you expect them, Moses, to live up to what the first debate was?
I think that it will definitely be different. I don't think they're as combative. I don't think, as people so far, they've shown themselves to be as aggressive and as overflowing as the two presidential candidates are. But I do think that this debate will give them some character, which will be good. People will know more of what to think of them.
Yeah. Sean, do you think this debate is going to get any more heated or less heated than the first debate? This is the only vice presidential debate of the season, so.
Yeah, I don't know if I expect it to get extremely heated, where the two men that we're seeing are fairly mild-mannered, which is interesting when they're with such eccentric personalities that they're on the ticket with. So I think this will really be a debate showcasing the candidates that we didn't really get to see in their own debate that we saw last Monday when they were really going against each other. Now we get to see people represent those candidates.
I agree. And do you think this is going to change the election at all going forward?
I think it has to. I mean, what people are looking for is more information. And again, people that have decided who they're going to vote for already, they're not the people that they're trying to market towards. It's these undecided voters in swing states that they're really trying to make an impact on. So they're going to be looking to address issues that are happening in swing states such as Ohio. Now, we'll go over to you, Ruby, where in the first debate, we saw a lot of bickering. We saw some arguments between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. Where that most likely won't be happening in the vice presidential debate, do you think it could be more policy focused?
I think definitely. I think it's going to be less personality based and focusing a lot more on the specific policy, particularly because there are so many that they go head to head at, as well as Trump and Hillary. So it's going to be interesting to see which vice president nominee is going to agree with either and how they come head to head.
I agree, and I think that it's going to be hard. They both have some pretty strong opinions on both things. Any predictions for a winner, Moses?
I really couldn't call a winner yet. The only thing I can be sure of is that they will balance out their candidates, because I think they were both selected as moderate picks. I know there was talk of having Elizabeth Warren along with Hillary Clinton. That didn't go through. So I think whoever is the most mild-mannered actually could win.
Okay.
I know there was a reason why Tim Kaine was put on the ticket. Some people were surprised to see him as a senator coming out of Virginia to be with Clinton. But it's a different personality type, but can still relate to those same ideas.
I completely agree. I think it's going to be an interesting debate no matter what happens. Sean, any predictions at all for the night? What do you want to happen out of this debate?
I just want to have a better idea who these candidates are. Most people don't even know who they are as vice presidential candidates. They know that they're from Indiana and Virginia, respectively, but what their policies are, that's going to be interesting to see going forward.
I agree. And we are all dying to hear all the details on Kim Kardashian's robbery. And Ruby Vishnik will have the full report when we come back. Welcome back to Good Morning Emerson.
A scary moment for Kim Kardashian this weekend forced husband Kanye West to leave mid-concert. We go to Ruby Vishnik now with the story.
Thanks, guys. Kim Kardashian was held at gunpoint inside her Paris hotel room by two armed men dressed as police officers. Kim has not spoken publicly about the event. However, a source close to the family has said she was really shaken up. She was gagged and bound at her hands and feet and then handcuffed and held at gunpoint. They wrapped her mouth in tape and put her in the bathtub. The men left her unharmed after taking all of her jewelry. Some people on the internet have decided to turn Kim's scary experience into a joke. Internet trolls took to Twitter to post tweets saying they couldn't feel sorry for someone who owns millions of dollars of jewelry. But many stars have shut down the haters and shown their support. Chrissy Teigen went on one of her signature Twitter rants, defending her BFF, calling out all whom tried to make light of this event. James Corden also managed to silence everyone with one single tweet. He wrote, "People making jokes about Kim Kardashian tonight would do well to remember that she's a mother, a daughter, a wife, a friend. Be nice or shut up." People are freaking out about Solange Knowles' newly released album, A Seat at the Table. The fourth studio album from the youngest Knowles took the 30-year-old singer almost 4 years to complete. It contains 21 tracks with musical guests such as Lil Wayne and Kelly Rowland. Knowles has described the album as a project on identity, empowerment, independence, grief, and healing. Beyoncé took to Instagram and wrote, "Congrats to my sister on creating this beautiful work of art." Saturday Night Live began its 42nd season, hosted by Margot Robbie with musical guest The Weeknd. 16-time host of SNL, Alec Baldwin, took on the role of Republican candidate Donald Trump, as recommended by Tina Fey, and he nailed it. Baldwin starred in the presidential debate against Kate McKinnon's spot-on Hillary Clinton. He clearly looked the part with his pouty face, fluffy hair, and tan skin. The sketch perfectly parodied much of what was said in the first debate, such as the topic of the Iraq War here.
I was against the war. Ask anyone in the world named Sean Hannity. I told Sean Hannity, call Sean Hannity.
Many are taking to social media saying that they vote in favor of having Baldwin and McKinnon debate on SNL again. I'm Ruby Vishnik, and that's it for entertainment. Now back to Sean and Claire at the demo table.
Today we have Kate Nelson with our newest segment to GME, Emerson Buzz. What do you have for us, Kate?
Well, there's a lot of exciting things happening at Emerson and in Boston. Halloween is coming up, and with that, a lot of people in the dorms are gearing up, decorating. There are a lot of places to get some decor for your dorms: Target, Dorothy's Costume Boutique, Boston Costume, Party City, and those are all within a 2-mile radius of where we are. As well as that, there have been a lot of clown sightings in Massachusetts. Very scary, but so far no clowns at Emerson.
That's good, where personally I'm very afraid of this whole clown sighting thing. Yeah. Definitely hoping that we can steer clear of them this Halloween season.
I hope so too. As well as that, the Fall Internship Fair is Tuesday, October 4th, which is today. It's a great chance to get your name out there and to find exciting internships. There are lots of employers coming to the fair with opportunities for all majors. As well as the vice presidential debate happening tonight. There will be a showing in the Billboardy Theater from 8:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. with pizza and soda being served. And if you can't make it to that, you can follow the conversation online at #EmersonElect. NBC and Universal Studios will be having info sessions and on-campus interviews. That's exciting, right?
It's awesome. I'm so glad Emerson makes these opportunities for us to get out there because it can be intimidating looking for an internship, trying to find one. The internship fair and stuff like the interviews and hirings, it makes it easy for students to go out there and get an awesome internship.
Yeah, definitely. So that's October 5th. It's only an hour long from 10 to 11 in the multi-purpose room, so be sure to get there. And don't forget Fresh Check Day, October 13th at 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And register to vote, especially in this upcoming election. It's so important to vote. Wednesday, October 5th from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m., Democracy Matters will be outside the dining hall getting students registered. So please go there, but remember there will be more chances to register, but don't wait. The Emerson Stand series will be dismantling power-based interpersonal violence from 7 to 9 p.m. Tuesday, October 4th, 11th, and 8th in the cabaret of the Little Building. So make it there as well. Also in Boston, there are a lot of exciting things happening. A lot of shows coming up. Sia, The Fray, Postmodern Jukebox, so you can all check that out. Are you planning to see any of those shows?
If I had money, I would absolutely be there in a heartbeat. That's a great lineup. I think I'm going to probably stick with some of the free Emerson-sponsored events to try to refuel my wallet.
Definitely, I agree. I wish I could go out and see Jersey Boys and all the shows coming out to the area, but alas, money.
But still, a lot of good Emerson events that are being put on right now. Thank you so much for joining us, Kate.
Thank you so much, Kate. That's all the time we have on Good Morning Emerson today.
Thanks so much for tuning in. We will see you again on Thursday.